Hello, students. Good day. Yesterday, I started the lesson The Eyes Habit, written by Ruskin, and we completed the first page of the prose piece, The Eyes Habit. Now, today, we shall continue that story. So now what you have to do is to open at page number the next page, that means the second page of the prose piece The Eyes Habit. So I would ask you to open this book Mindscape at the second page of the prose piece The Eyes Habit, written by Ruskin. So should we begin then? Let's text the second page. I didn't see you either, I said, but I heard you coming. I wondered if I would be able to prevent her from discovering that I was blind. Provided I keep to my seat, I thought, it shouldn't be too difficult. The girl said, I'm getting off at Saharanpur. My aunt is meeting me there. Then I had better not get too familiar, I replied. Aunts are usually formidable creatures. Where are you going? She asked. To Dera and then to Mussoorie. Oh, how lucky you are. I wish I were going to Mussoorie. I love the hills, especially in October. Yes, this is the best time, I said, calling on my memories. The hills are covered with wild dahlias, the sun is delicious, and at night you can sit in front of a log fire and drink a little brandy. Most of the tourists have gone, and the roads are quiet and almost deserted. Yes, October is the best time. She was silent. I wondered if my words had touched her, or whether she thought me a romantic fool. Then I made a mistake. What is it like outside? I asked. She seemed to find nothing strange in the question. Had she noticed already that I couldn't see? But next question removed my doubts. Why don't you look out of the window? She asked. I moved easily along the berth and felt for the window ledge. The window was open and I faced it, making a pretense of studying the landscape. I heard the panting of the engine, the rumble of the wheels, and in my mind's eye I could see telegraph posts flashing by. Have you noticed, I ventured, that the trees seem to be moving while we seem to be standing still? That always happens, she said. Do you see any animals? Now, students, let us get to the meaning of what we read just now. I didn't see you either, I said, but I heard you coming. Now, if you remember yesterday, the girl remarked that she was actually surprised and said to the author that she didn't see that anyone was there in the train compartment. In response to that, the author says that he also didn't see the girl. I wondered if I would be able to prevent her from discovering that I was blind. Provided I'd keep to my seat, I thought it shouldn't be too difficult. Now here, the author is always trying to hide the fact that he is blind. Now, he feels that if he remains on his seat, he can manage to impress upon the girl that he is not blind. The girl said, "I'm getting off at Saharanpur. My aunt is meeting me there." Now here, you should see that conversation is actually beginning from here. The girl says that she is going to Saharanpur and her aunt will meet her there. At this, the narrator says, "Then I had better not get too familiar," I replied. "Aunts are usually formidable creatures." The author says that if her aunt is coming there to meet her, he shouldn't get too familiar with the girl, because aunts are formidable creatures. Now here there is a sense of humor. Here the line "aunts are usually formidable creatures" is a very good line that adds a sense of humor, a very good sense of humor here. The girl asks, "Where are you going?" "To Dera and then to Missouri." Now we come to know that the author is actually going to Dera and then he will go to Missouri. Now these two towns, Dera and Missouri, are, you should know that these parts are in the northern part of India, in the state of Uttarakhand. "Oh, how lucky you are. I wish I were going to Missouri. I love the hills, especially in October." Here we see a flight of imagination, a wish. The girl wishes she were going to Missouri because these places are very beautiful places. Dehradun, Missouri. Actually, Dera is the short form of Dehradun. Dehradun, Missouri, and places like these are very lovely, situated in the northern part of India. So the girl tells the author that she loves the hills, and the hills are beautiful, especially in October. Now starts a description of these places, how beautiful these places are. Just listen. In response to the girl's remark that she loves the hills and she loves the hills especially in October, the author starts, "Yes, this is the best time," I said, calling on my memories. "The hills are covered with wild dahlias, the sun is delicious, and at night you can sit in front of a log fire and drink a little brandy. Most of the tourists have gone, and the roads are quiet and almost deserted. Yes, October is the best time." Now, how beautiful these descriptions are. he author talks about the wild dahlias. You know how beautiful dahlias, the big dahlia flowers are, and the sun is delicious. The word delicious is a brave use of the word. And at night you can sit in front of a log fire. One can sit in front of there is a log fire, beautiful log fire, and someone is sitting beside a log fire enjoying it, at the same time drinking a little brandy. All these things, all this description makes the it makes it so beautiful. It is so interesting to read the paragraph. Yes, October is the best time. The author affirms, oh, yes, this is the time. If any time is better for enjoying the beauty of nature there in Missouri, it is the month of October. Now, the girl was silent. She was silent. I wondered if my words had touched her, or whether she thought me a romantic fool. Then I made a mistake. What is it like outside? I asked. She seemed to find nothing strange in the question. Had she noticed already that I couldn't see? But the next question removed my doubts. Why don't you look out of the window? She asked. Now, again, the author wonders that something must be in the mind of the girl. She must be thinking of the author, if he is a romantic fool or something like that. Then the author says that he made a mistake by asking a question. What is that question? The question is, what is it like outside? That means how is the nature outside the window? How is it there beautiful or not? Something like that. And this question shouldn't be put to the girl. The author thinks so. He thinks that he must have done a mistake by asking this question, that what is it like outside? The author feels that he shouldn't have asked this question to girl. Now, again, the very next moment, the author says that something has removed his doubts. And what is it that removed his doubts, that the girl was thinking that the author was blind or not? It was the next question, the question that the girl asked or put to the author. Why don't you look out of the window? She asked. Now this question put by the girl to the author removed all doubts of the author or the narrator that the girl has guessed anything about his blindness, if he is blind or not, and he was clear of any doubt. I moved easily along the berth and felt for the window ledge. The window was open, and I fasted making a pretense of studying the landscape. I heard the panting of the engine, the rumble of the wheels, and in my mind's eye I could see telegraph posts flashing by. Now, what the author did is to move towards the window, and the window was open. He faced it. He's actually sitting there. He doesn't arise. He doesn't get up from his seat. he just moved, he was sitting there and just moved along his berth towards the window. Uh, the window is open. He uh, put his face towards the window. He was making a pretense that he was looking outside the window and studying the landscape. At this time, he heard the panting of the engine, that is the sound of the engine, the rumble of the wheels of the train, and in my mind's eye I could see telegraph posts flashing by. Now, this is an interesting description. Actually, the poet is blind, he couldn't see, but with the power of imagination, he can see telegraph post flashing by. In his mind's eye, he can see many things. He can also hear the panting of the engine, the rumble of the wheels. These things are beautifully described by the author. Have you noticed, I ventured, that the trees seem to be moving while we seem to be standing still? Now the author talks to the girl, asks her if she had noticed that the trees seem to be moving while they seem to be standing still. That always happens, she said. Do you see any animals? And the girl says simply, that always happens. And at the same time puts a question, do you see any animals? So today we find two beautiful descriptions. One is a description that we find is about Yadav and Mussoorie. I informed you that these two places are very beautiful places. Words can fall short for describing these places. They are so beautiful. And next, at the end of the second page, we find that the poet uses his imagination and beautifully, even the sounds of the engine and the wheels are made beautiful by the author. The subjective element here is making the prose piece beautiful. The two young people are here in the same train compartment, and both of them are young, as we find in the prose piece, and they have attractions for their opposite sexes, and it gets a romantic turn as we find in the conversation and whatever is there here. So this much this day, students. Next, in our next class, coming soon. Bye-bye.